I've got the mayor of Ridgecrest, California now on the line, Mayor Peggy Breeden. Mayor Breeden, thank you so much for jumping on. I can imagine you have your hands very full right now. Bring us up to speed as far as what you know and how people in your community are doing.
Right now, we just 30 seconds ago had another one. We've had, this would either be our 7th or 8th one we've had. Oh my goodness, there's another one right now. Oh my goodness.
Are you okay?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Breathe, just breathe.
Okay, we've got, as I understand, we have 5 fires. We have broken gas lines. We have, I do not know of any, oh, this is a really good one.
Hang on, before you continue, was it one aftershock that you're feeling or several in a row?
I can't tell. It seems like it's one.
And is it still going?
We've had so many. It just ended.
Oof.
We've had the police are out doing a marvelous job. Kern County has set up an emergency facility here. We have China Lake Naval Weapons Center right next door to us. Everyone has offered their help. I've talked to Assemblyman Vince Fong, who is a member of our Congress in the state assembly in the state of California. Senator Kevin McCarthy, Congressman Kevin McCarthy, I just got off the phone with. We've had all sorts of offers of assistance. We have a lot of people. I'm asking everyone, and as they listen to this, please go next door to your neighbors. Just because you're okay doesn't mean that they are. Knock on the door, make sure that there's somebody there and that they are not in need of anything. The police, fire, and all our volunteer organizations are out working, assessing the situation, trying to find out where it's best needed. The 5 fires, I believe, are under control right now. And
can you talk to me a little bit more, Mrs. Mayor, just about those fires? Was that because of broken gas lines?
Do not know that yet. PG&E, Pacific Gas and Electric, is out here assessing lines and turning off gas virtually everywhere. And that's what we're doing. We're just please asking people to don't panic. I went down to our senior center. We're a city of about 28,000 people. They were having their 4th of July event there. They were panicky. I went down there. We got everybody out. No physical injuries, a lot of damage in the facility. But so far, I'm about half a mile away from the hospital. Numerous ambulances are going by. I do not know if it's because of the earthquake or just panic or what. But that's what's happening. And we have all sorts of organizations out helping, and that's where we are. And so please just ask them to go, if anybody's listening, go next door and make sure your neighbors and friends are all right.
Check on your neighbors. Don't panic. Do you have a note for people as far as the calling 911? Because I imagine they're overwhelmed. There's numerous 911 calls, yes. And 911 certainly is when you need help, that's the place to call. I'm asking them to make it for a real emergency and not for just information, because I'm understanding there is a number of people calling for information. As I'm talking to you, we've just had this image popping up on our screen. Guys, confirm in my ear, is this Ridgecrest? It appears to be a house fire. Mayor Breeden, this may be one of the 5 fires you were describing. It is absolutely raging. You see fire on the scene.
Yep.
Made a pilgrimage to Independence Hall in Philadelphia, and he declared this. He said, "This nation, conceived in revolution."
A house fire, Mayor Breeden, this may be one of the 5 fires you were describing. It is absolutely raging. You see fire on the scene.
Yep.
Can you just give us an update? You said you believe there have been 5 fires. You're not entirely sure if they're under control.
I do not know that officially. As I look around me, I can see smoke, but I cannot see other than one, and that's still black smoke. There's others that I'm sure
but I only know of the report.
And you mentioned, as we stay on these images, you mentioned checking in with, was it an assisted living facility? Did they have power? I mean, is power totally out where you are?
In some places it's out, in others it isn't.
Okay. Ridgecrest, California Mayor Peggy Breeden, you have many more people to talk to on the phone. Thank you so much for jumping on with me, and my best to you. Dorothea, thank you. Dorothea Smith is with me now on the phone. She felt the earthquake in, Dorothea, am I saying this correctly? Trona, California?
Yes.
Trona, California, 20 miles from Ridgecrest. What did you feel?
Oh wow, it was a bad shaking, a really bad shaking. Pictures coming off the wall, TVs breaking, cars shaking, wobbling, hot water heaters exploding, all kind of things. My whole washer and dryer scooted from the wall and came loose. It was bad.
Wow. Are you home alone? Do you have people with you?
Oh yes, everybody.
Okay,
I have
good.
family here in Trona, and they all came to my house.
Okay, good. Maybe that's the upside of this happening on a holiday. Hopefully folks had family and friends around them. It's also my understanding, we've been covering some of these rock slides and boulders shaking loose. It's my understanding you saw some of that?
Well, I didn't see it. We were on my niece was on her way, her co-worker was on her way out of Trona, and a boulder fell. And a couple of people that was on their way into Trona said that the boulder almost hit their car from the mountains. So, yeah, two big boulders came down and broke the asphalt. So there's no way in or out of Trona right now. We're like stuck.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
And aftershocks, have you felt them?
Oh, they're coming. They're coming strong.
Are you from Southern California? Is this the kind of thing you've felt before? Is this the kind of thing, how would you rate among other earthquakes if you felt anything else?
Well, a while back it was a really big one. I was living in LA. It was a really big one then. I think this one was worse than that one.
You think this one was worse?
The real big one that was in LA?
Yes.
I can't remember the year or anything, but this one was worse, yeah.
I think a lot of people are talking about Northridge. That was in 1994, I believe. Dorothea, thank you so much. I'm going to let you be with your family there in Trona, California. Tom Sater, just talking to all these various voices, folks who live in this part of the country, at least hopefully many of them are not alone or with friends and family, not having to work on this holiday. But between these fires you're seeing on the screen and boulders, in the middle of highways and roads and people stuck in towns, this is incredibly devastating.
It is not the Independence Day Ridgecrest was hoping for. And all the families, the firefighters, first responders, law enforcement, just the inspection process alone for all the homes and businesses could take a week or more. 30,000 residents in Ridgecrest. Now, we're working to confirm a couple minor details. We received an email from the USGS that instead of a 5-mile depth, they may cut it in half to 2.5. I know that doesn't sound like a lot. It's already shallow at 5, but to cut that to 2.5 miles, that would create more energy outward in the region. The other factor that we're working on, they may move the epicenter to only 6 miles from Ridgecrest. Now, we went through the shake map again, and I want to show you a larger picture of all the aftershocks that are occurring. But again, right around 30,000 people, you've got 42,000 felt very strong shaking. That is the category. There are higher categories, but that's as high as this quake is going. So no one felt severe, violent, or extreme, thank goodness. 21 million felt light shaking. That's LA. And then you've got another 2 million that felt what we call weak shake. That would have been maybe around Las Vegas. But to go into this, and again, I want to stress on this because this is what we want to see. This is a pager, we call it. You want to see green when you're talking about estimated fatalities, and they're saying a good 65% chance no one died, or maybe up to 1 fatality. Let's hope that's not the case. But there's a 30% chance that maybe 1 to 10. Again, you don't want to think about that, but again, when there's calls of 911 and everyone is running to Ridgecrest and every vehicle you can think of in air support, you're wondering, is anybody trapped? It doesn't take much for a chandelier to fall or a wall to give in. 35% chance that economic losses could be 10 million to 100 million. That would be the Ridgecrest area. Again, now the aftershocks, this is what I want to get into. We could still see a 5.4. That's typically when you have a 6.4, you can have an aftershock that's 5.4 or greater. We haven't had that one yet, but let me show you this. And let's get into this map because, Brooke, this will blow your mind here. This is all Southern California, and it's hard to see. If we can take this full, you might be able to see it better. There are hundreds of little yellow dots. These are all quakes of different sizes, typically small, from the last week. Now, we're going to get in closer. When you see orange, this is the last 24 hours. Bakersfield, we're getting closer, much closer here. You're going to see orange in the last 24 hours. Red, that's in the last hour, Brooke. That's in the last 60 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, you've got almost 42 aftershocks in the last 60 minutes. Again, in orange is the last 24. So this has been an active area now, and I think the computer models are really starting to grab onto it. Here is Ridgecrest, where the 30,000 live, and then you get closer to Death Valley National Park. Now, yes, it's higher terrain, and that can absorb some of this energy, but when you're feeling that, there's no doubt that there could be some major damage, and we're seeing it, as you mentioned, in this region. As Dr. Lucy Jones mentioned, when it comes to these aftershocks, the last time, 1999, when we had something that was 6.0 or greater, I mean, the aftershocks lasted 6 months. That's not unusual. We see this around the world quite a bit. So this is going to be really testing the nerves of everybody in the entire region, not just in Ridgecrest, but again, our thoughts and prayers with everyone there, and all the families of law enforcement and firefighters are giving up their day today to just do what they do. Let's just hope that no one is injured, and more importantly, no fatalities with this.
So, hang on a second. Okay, forgive me, talking in the control room. Tom, thank you very much. Suzanne, what's Suzanne's last name? Holwell. Suzanne Holwell, you're live on CNN. Say it again?
Colwell, Colwell.
Thank you, ma'am. This is live television. I appreciate it. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You okay?
How are you?
I'm much better here in New York City than a lot of you all are, I know, in Southern California. Oh, my goodness. Tell me, are you in Ridgecrest?
I live in Ridgecrest, but I work in Kern, and that's where I'm at right now. I was in Ridgecrest when it happened at home.
You were?
Getting ready to get ready for work, and it was very violent. It was a violent shake.
It was a violent shake.
It was very violent.
Describe it more.
The shelves. My roommate's mother-in-law lives a couple houses down from us. I ran to her house. She has stuff all over the floor that flew off shelves, broken glass. Her backyard, the pool went everywhere. So her backyard's kind of flooded. There is a fire on California Street in Ridgecrest, and it's a home because there's no businesses right in that area. But
yeah, we're looking at pictures. No, let me interject. We're looking. Yeah. We were looking at pictures of a home in Ridgecrest, but a lot of people are comparing it to Northridge in 1994. You were saying it was worse? More violent.
Yeah, it just shook and shook. It seemed like it was never going to quit. It shook. It seemed like forever, but I know it was only probably 30 seconds, if not that.
I mean, I was just talking to the mayor of Ridgecrest, and as she was talking to me, she had to stop because she was feeling an aftershock, which
right.
seemed to go on for a second. And you know, listening to our own meteorologist, there have been dozens of aftershocks. How many have you felt?
I felt the only one I felt was the 6.4, but my roommate had felt the one that was a few minutes before that, and she came and told me that we just had an earthquake. And I said, and look what I'm watching. I'm watching this show that's like an earthquake. It's called Volcano. It was scary because all that stuff started shaking all around me.
My goodness,
there
Suzanne.
are some people that have no electricity.
Did you? Or
we have electricity. I work out at Five Fingers Pub, and so I just grabbed my clothes for work and came out here in my pajamas to make sure I had a job to come to.
I mean, can we just go back to that for a second? I don't know if your boss is watching, but you're telling me that you were home, you felt a 6.4 earthquake, and then you went to work.
I came running out to work as soon as I made sure my roommate's mother was okay and my neighbors were okay, and I came out to work to make sure I had a job.
Suzanne, you deserve a raise.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Tell me, so are you at the pub right now, and
Yes.
is anyone actually in it with you, or are you alone?
Yeah, actually, a friend of mine, he came over here to make sure that I didn't need any help cleaning a mess up. But our doors
is there
are open
damage?
today.
Is there damage where you are or even in your drive from home to work? Did you see damage?
Well, I did see the one fire. Emergency personnel has been going past my work. So there's other things going on. I just don't know what. I know that there's people that's further away from town itself that have no electricity.
Yep, that's
because
right.
I made some phone calls on my way to work here. And then I know of one person that does not have electricity in Ridgecrest, and he has health issues, so he had to grab his oxygen tank that he didn't have to use electricity for, to have it. And then the one fire in Ridgecrest that I know of, I was told that the Chevron here in Inyukern, a bunch of the stuff went flying off the shelf. So I would imagine the hardware store is even worse because they have all kinds of stuff on their shelves.
Yeah, no, we're getting all kinds of reports of that sort of, because it was so, as your word, violent, rolling, shaking. Suzanne, I'm going to let you go. Hope you get that raise. Showed up at work after feeling an earthquake. Suzanne, thank you so much. April Rodriguez is on the phone with me, someone who felt the earthquake from Trona, California. April, how are you doing, and what did it feel like?
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
It was really scary. Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. It was really scary.
It was really scary. It started at first. We had a little one at first, and then I thought that was going to be the big one. And then the big one started, and I thought, okay, it's going to stop in a minute, and then it didn't stop. And so we were just like panicked trying to get out of the house because everything's falling off the wall, out of the cabinets, off the shelves, off the walls, pictures, knickknacks. It's just like it was, and then it was like they were flying like missiles off the shelves.
Flying like missiles, and you've,
yeah,
I'm sure you. Go ahead.
We were hysterical. I have a newborn grandson. He's 2 weeks old only, and he lives across town. And I was hysterical because I couldn't get my son on the phone, and it was just so scary.
Of course you were. Congratulations, Grandma. And is he okay? Did you get a hold of him?
He's okay. He's here. Yeah, they're here with us now because so the worry. Our town is it's really small, and our main source of income is a giant chemical plant. Mm-hmm. And the worry always is anytime something like this happens is that the plant could have a breach and there'd be chemicals in the air or an explosion or something. And so we're just kind of nervous waiting to see if we hear the siren to evacuate.
Yeah, let's hope not. Think positively. We know there have been a number of fires not too far from you in Ridgecrest, just talking to the mayor there, broken gas lines, that kind of thing.
We've had that in our neighborhood too.
You've had fires or broken gas lines?
We had the neighbor down the street had a broken gas line. There's been broken water lines. Someone's water heater fell off in the garage, and it's the San Bernardino County Sheriff and the San Bernardino County Fire Department are doing a real good job patrolling to help people.
I am sure they are. Do you have power?
No, we have no power, and it's probably going to be 120 here today. So that's a worry.
Oh my gosh, so many people without power, so warm, and dealing with these aftershocks, and with a 2-week-old grandbaby. April, thank you so much for being on with me. I'm going to let you go. Our best to you.
This is CNN Breaking News.